Right, hello everyone. It's a quick video. I'm going to talk about this book, King Arthur Conspiracy, because I get quite a few requests to reprint this book. Okay, more than any other book, this is the one. I mean, we've already done Moses, Trojan War, the other big black books, as they're called. They're all available, War King, that kind of stuff. So this is the one. This and Ark of the Covenant, which, although it's being, well, you could call it illegally, really. It's being published by a company that's not paying the royalties to Wilson and Blackett and without their permission. But hey, it's out there. So the one you really can't get hold of unless you spend hundreds of pounds is this one. So the question is, should we reprint it or not? It's a huge book, right? It's 500 odd pages. A lot of the images and stuff need, sharpening up. The originals have disappeared. It's going to be a lot of work. I would also like to add, if I was going to reprint it, I'd want it reprinted with an index, which you can imagine is a huge job indexing these books. So I want to know the demands there. I did ask a few months ago, mostly through the Facebook group, and there's probably 20 odd people. It's not enough, so we just postponed it. Now, before we look into this book, I want to point out and go through the contents and show what the plans are for the contents. All right, might not be big book like this because there's so many subjects in here. What I want to do is continue to see the colours appearing on the shelf behind me. Whoop, I'll do this the wrong way around. On there, and we got Moses and Trojan War and that kind of stuff. Where Jesus is Buried, the new Wilson and Blackett book. So the plan with this is to do dedicated books on each topic, rather than create this, uber book, mega book. So I'm going to do just run through the chapters, give you an idea of what's in it, all right, if you haven't seen the book before. Published in 1990, it's by Wilson and Blackett. Grant Barclay is down as the editor. He had, should we say, a very light touch. Right, so the first chapter is Grave Creek, West Virginia. And then we got something of the history, the British Cold War, about the history being suppressed, Albine migration. Then we move on to talk about ancient stones in Britain, ancient writing on the stones. So we get to Colburn, the British writing system. There's a good description of that in here. And I want to do a separate book just on Colburn. How you read it, how you write it, examples, history of it, the whole thing. A couple of people in the group are really working on that already. John Griffiths and Bob Morgan being the main ones. So that needs its own book on Colburn, right? Well, I'll have to pick the bits out from this book, which is amazing. Right. Then Etruscan. There's a couple of chapters here. Then, I mean, any one of these topics should be like major award winning, like a Nobel Prize or something. Working out how to read Etruscan back in the 90s, this was kind of accepted in Italy, and they started translating things. And for bizarre reasons I really don't understand, politics got into it, and this has been forgotten. So we need a book on Etruscan, alright? So there's the second book, how it's done, which also ties in to Phrygian, which they haven't done so much on, and that'll probably be at the back of the Etruscan book. Right, In Search of Brutus. So then we got a thing about the migrations, doing a separate book about ancient migrations. The Arthurian Dynasty, which is great. I mean, that's a book in itself. I mean, it's a chapter, but it goes through all the Arthur the One and the Warwickshire Kings. Then you've got the genealogies. A lot of this stuff I try and do on videos, try and get out there. We're talking about Emperor Carausius back in the sort of 290s. And then we go through who Arthur One was, Owain Findlay, all this. Oh, it's great. It's just brilliant. There's a wealth of British history, which again needs to be in a separate book perhaps. Right, one of my favourite subjects, anyone who follows my channel, the myth of Celtic and Roman Britain. So no Celts, alright, and we're the Romans in Britain at all. This is my favourite subject in many ways. That definitely needs expanding on, because since Wilson and Blackett published this 1990, just to explain, I now edit and publish their books for them and taking their work on. A share of all the revenue goes straight back to Wilson and Blackett. I do my best to look after them, make sure their house is okay, try and generally sort things out, alright? So we're very close. It's really good, like a family. Taking it on, alright? Just in case you're wondering, why am I doing this? Okay, so that's definitely a huge one, alright? Then we go back to Britain. Gosh, what was in that chapter? There's so many chapters coming back to Britain. Oh yeah, let me talk about, the whether or not the Holy Family came into Britain, and then you got the 500 BC. You got the whole about the Holy Grail, what that was. A lot of this subject area is in the Where Jesus is Buried book, okay? Right, then we go on to, which is what the kind of cover's all about. No, it's not. Well, it does say so on a subheading. Anyway, Maddock. Maddock, brother or cousin of Arthur, who sailed to America, which is like the big thing in here. The central theme of this book is telling the story of the Britons, or the Welsh particularly, going to America in the 6th century and migrating there. A lot of the book shows comparative evidence, but it doesn't make any sense until you explain all the other bits. This is why the book gets so large. So we got a few chapters then showing, for examples, writing on caves throughout North America, particularly around the Kentucky area, although it goes all the way down to Mobile, Alabama, and that's that can be read using Colburn, which is why in the front of the book they do a thing explaining what Colburn is and how it works. Oh, and just crack the whole of the Etruscan language while they're at it, because that's the sort of thing that Wilson and Blackett do. Just do, lifetime research and just chuck it in, chapter 7 or whatever it was. Right, so that's American inscriptions, and there's loads of stuff about that. This deserves a separate book all about the North American British links, because it's brilliant. The Ancient Kentucky Historical Society with Lee Pennington, they've done lots of work which needs updating in here. Then we got things like the snakes, the forts, the pottery, the symbols, all these things in North America. And then we got possible Dark Age Christian relics in Arizona. You can see there, and this, if you've gone to Rick Osmond videos I've done, he talks a lot about this and how they deliberately destroyed them. And he's come from a different direction of research, but ends up in a similar place. And then we got the Dead Sea Scrolls. Quick bit about to read those. So as you can see, it's huge, okay? Now, obviously it's a classic book and everyone wants to have a copy. If you go online, I've got St. Paul's Stone, what that's all about, Frank's Casket, I don't know, it's just awesome. So that's going to happen anyway, just to let people know. When people buy this and think, all right, well, what's going on? You've now done this other thing. They're both going to carry on, okay? But if there's enough demand, we'll reprint this as well, all right? Because you can't get hold of it without paying hundreds of pounds if you can find a copy at all. Even I was lucky to get this one, okay? So please, what I need to know is some feedback. You need to put it in the comments here, or in the Facebook group, or both. I need to know we can sell at least 50 books, and it'll be about £30. That's about the price. I'm hoping to do 30, it might be 35. I'll be trying hard to do it for 30, okay? All our revenue gets shared with Wilson and Blackett, but there won't be much profit anyway, because big books like this are expensive. But it's most important it's out there, okay? So there you go. Look forward to the comments. Please say if you would order a copy. It's not to be legally binding. I'm not going to hold you to it, but I need to get some idea of, is this, viable? Okay. So, looking forward to comments. Till the next time, Hedwig.